Perfect. Perfect.
Hi everyone, in today's lesson we are on chapter 1.7, rounding decimals. By the end of today, you will be able to use place value to round decimals, and then you will be able to explain which digit I can use to round and why, and then I can round a decimal to any place. So for our first example, we're going to look at this number line right here. And it says like this: plot the numbers on the number line. Which numbers round to 3? Which numbers round to 4? And how do you know? So first thing, I'm just going to start right here with this 3.51. Well, if we're looking at this number line, I see 3, I see 3.5, and I see 4. Well, if you don't know what these number lines are right here, well, we're going to add them. So it's going 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, and then we have 4. All right, so the first number we start off with was 3.51. Now, if I look at this and I see 3.5, so if I think about the number 3.51, is that going to be, so remember we can add zeros, right? As many zeros as we want. Is this 51 smaller than 50 or bigger? If it's bigger, that means it's going to be on this side of the number line, right? So if we wanted to zoom in more, remember we could also add in more decimals here. And the way this would work is if we zoomed even more, this line right here would be 3.51. So that means that one would be really close to that 3.5. Okay. For example, let me ask you another question. If I broke this down right here between 3.5 and 3.60, what's in the middle of these two numbers? Wouldn't it be 3.55, right? In the middle of 50 and 60 would be 55. So then my question is, where is 51? Is it bigger than 55, right? 3.51. Is it bigger or smaller? It would be smaller, so that means it's going to be on this side. So it's bigger than 3.5, but it's smaller than 3.51. So if we were going to use, our best guess to solve this, I think that would be somewhere right around there. Okay. Now let's look at 3.6. Well, lucky for us, we already label it. So that would be 3.6. Now let's look at this one, 3.09. Where would that be? If we look at this number line, we have 3.3, 3.1, 3.2. So if we did 3.2, that's 20, and this is 9. That means 9 is already smaller. So it's not bigger than 3.2. So that means it's somewhere over here. So if this was 3, remember we can add as many zeros as we want. 3.00. This would be 3.10 or 3.10, and then this would be 3.20. Where would 3.09 be? Isn't 9 really close to 3.10? So I think that's where 3.09 would be. All right, let's try this next one, 3.77. Well, here's 3.7, so 3.77, and then we have 3.8. So we know it's going to be smaller than 3.8, but it's going to be bigger than 3.7. So let's think about that as same example. What's in the middle of we're going to do 3.70 and 3.80. What's right in the middle of those two numbers? That would be 3.75. All right, so now that we have the middle, where would this fall? Would it fall on this side or would it fall on this side? Well, I think it's going to fall on the blue side because it's bigger than 3.75 but smaller than 3.8. So I'd probably say it's probably right around there. So I'm going to write 3.77. Okay. Let's do the last one. And 3.9, well, lucky for us, we labeled it. There is 3.9. So this was kind of just like a visual for us to see really quick on how to round numbers using a number line. All right, let's go on to the next lesson. In this section, we will be talking about rounding decimal numbers. Just like in the example we just did, we are going to try and solve this problem where it says use the number line to round 7.36 to the nearest tenth. Okay, so here are the two things that we need to know. We need to know the nearest tenth and then 7.36. Well, if I have this number line, right, I have 7.3. What's the next number that comes right there? Well, that would be 7.31, right? What comes after 7.31? 7.32, 7.33, 7.34, and then we have 7.35. There's 7.36, 7.37, 7.38, 7.39, and after 39 comes 4 or 40, right? So if we take this and we're like, well, 7.36, let's round to the nearest tenth. Is 736, is it closer to this number here or this number here, right? Because we want to have, the nearest tenth. Which one is our tenth? This is our tenth, right? 7.3. So is 7.36, is it closer to this number here or is it closer to this number here? If we're looking at it at this number line, it looks like it's closer to 7.4. So that means we are going to round this up to the next number. So the question says 7.36 is rounded to nearest tenth is 7.4. Now I'm going to explain to you guys in this next question on how we actually do that, okay? So here's our number. It says round to the nearest whole number, right? Our whole number. So the number is round 2.185. So 2.185. And which one of these would be our whole number? Well, that number would be 2, right? So that is our whole number. That's in the ones place. That's a whole number. So we want to round to the nearest whole number. How do we do that? Well, the way I remembered how to do it, I'm just going to show you really quick. So I'm going to put a box around this 2, and we want to round to the nearest whole number. How do we do that? We want to look to the number to the right. So what's the next number to the right of 2? Well, that would be 1. I'm going to put a circle around this one, okay? Now, here's the rule. If the number is 5 or bigger, so 5 or bigger, we are going to round up. If the number is 4 and lower, we are going to stay the same. Okay? So let's take a look at this. We're looking at this 1. So I'm going to put 5. Is the number 1, is it bigger than 5 or smaller than 5? Well, it's smaller than 5, right? So that means we need to round this to the next whole number. What's the closest whole number? That would be just 2. Now let me give you guys an example on a number line. So if I have 2 and then I have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9. The next whole number would be 3, right? Where would 2.1 be on this number line? Well, it would be right here, right? So ask yourself, is 2.1 closer to the next whole number? Is it 2 or is it 3? Well, the next closest number is 2, right? So it's right there. So that means when we round 2.185 to the next whole number, the answer will be just 2. Sometimes they might be like 2.0, but sometimes they just might say whole number. So 2 works, okay? Now let's look at this next one. It says round to the nearest hundredth. So we have 2.185. Well, which one is in the hundredths place? We got the wholes right here. We got the tenths right here. And then what is this one? This is the hundredths. So this is my hundredths, right? What was the rule that I said? We need to look to the number to the, what does that say? Oops. The number to the right, okay? So here's the number. What is the next number to the right of 8? Right there. What number is that? Well, that's 5, okay? So now let's look at the rules. What does the rule say? If it's 5 bigger than 5 or 5 and bigger, we round what? Up to the next number. So let's take a look at this. 8, we have 8 right here. 5. Is 5 bigger than 5? Yes, it is. So that means we need to round this number right here in green to the next number. What's the next number after 8? It would be 9. So this number 2.185 rounded to the nearest hundred would be 2.19. All right, we're going to do a bunch of practice on these problems, and I promise you guys will get them. All right. This is where we're going to do a lot of practice, the show and grow. So let's take a look. It says round the number to the place underlined. All right, so first of all, what number is underlined right now? That is a 6, right? So let's remember, we round around to the nearest, what place would this be? This would be the 10th, right? So what was the rule? We need to look to the number to the right. All right, what number is to the right of it? We have this 7. And what was the rule? If it's 5 or bigger, I'll just write it down. 5 or bigger, we round up. If it's 4 or lower, we what? Stay same or round down. Okay, so let's see. Is 7 bigger than 5? Yes, it is. That means we need to round up. So what's the next number after 6? That would be 12.7. All right, let's go on to the next one. Here we go. We need to round to this number right here. And what place value is this? This is the 100th. Okay, so what was the rule again? We need to look to the number to the right, and that's 9. Is 9 bigger than 5, right? We said 5 and bigger, we go up. 4 and lower, we go down. All right, so is 9 bigger than 5? Yes, it is. That means we need to go to the next number up. What's the next number after 3? That would be 4. So the answer for this one will be 0.44. All right, let's try another one. Whoa, look at this one. We need to round to the next whole number. So what is the next whole number? Let's see. Or what are the rules again? Let's look to the number to the right, and that's a 5. So we said if it's 5 and bigger, we round up. If it's 4 and lower, we round down, or it stays the same. All right, so is 5 bigger? Is it 5 and bigger? Yes, it is. So that means we need to round up to the next whole number. So what is the next whole number? Well, that would be 3. So what is the answer for this one? 2.55 rounded to the next whole number. That would be 3. All right, let's do some more practice. It says round 0.68 to the nearest 10th. All right, well, which one is the 10th place? Well, I'm going to underline it. This is the 10th place. So what is the rule? The rule is we need to look to the number to the right, and that number is 8. And we said if it's 5 or bigger, we round what? Up. If it's 4 and lower, we round down, or it stays the same. Stays same. So is 8 bigger than 5? Yes, it is. That means we're going to round this number up. So what's the next number after 6? That would be 0.7. Okay. All right, let's try another one. Round 1.75 to the nearest 100th. All right, so which one is in the 100th place? Well, it would be this one right here. So what were the rules again? We said that we want to, let me highlight it really quick. So we run around to the nearest 100th. And the rule is we need to look to the number to the right. And let's see what it says. It says if it was 5 and bigger, we round what? Up. If it's 4 or lower, we round down. And it also stays the what? Or, so I'll say or stays the same. So is 5 bigger than 5? Yes, it is. So that means we round around this number to the next number up. And what number is right after 1 would be 2, right? So we have 1.72. That's rounded to the nearest 100th. All right, let's do some more practice. It says round 4.07 to the nearest whole number. So we have 4.07. Which one is the whole numbers? Well, it's this one right here. And what were the rules again? We want to look to the number to the right. All right, and now here's the question. We said if it was 5 and bigger, it goes up. Or if it was 4 or lower, it goes what? Down, or stays the same. All right, so is 0 bigger than 5? No. So that means it's going to go down or stay the same. So what is the 4.07 rounded to the nearest whole number? Well, that is just 4. It can be 4.0 or it can just be 4. Okay? Let's try another one. It says round 0.289 to the nearest tenth. Well, which one is in the tenth place? I know that this one is in the tenth place. So I'm going to highlight really quick so we can see it. And what did we say? To round to the next number, we want to look to the number to the right, and that's an 8. Okay, so and we said if it's 5 or bigger, we round up. And if it's 4 or lower, we round what? Down, or it stays, what is it? Stays the same. So is 8 bigger than 5? Yes, it is. That means we want to round this up to the next number. What's the next number after 2? That would be 3. So what's our answer for this one? 0.3. All right, let's do a few more practice problems.